Listen, when did aging make you start holding on to the side rail? Because it doesn't happen with an announcement. And you know what? It doesn't feel like a big decision. But one day, your hand reaches out before you even think about it. And at first, it feels like nothing. Just a light touch as you go up or down. And then you notice you didn't let go. And you didn't let go as fast as you used to. So now, something that used to be optional starts to feel necessary. And that's where the change begins to show. Now, you're about to see yourself walking towards the steps like you always do. And, honestly, nothing feels different as you approach them. And as your foot moves forward, your hand reaches out at the same time. But it does it without asking you first. So then you touch the rail lightly, almost like it's just part of the motion. And for a moment, you don't think anything about it. But instead of letting go right away, you know what you do. Your hand stays there just a little longer than it used to. And that small difference is easy to miss. And to someone younger, it may look like balance. But from the inside, it feels like something guiding you through the step. Really. So now you begin to notice that your hand goes to the rail more often than it used to. And it shows up in places where, you didn't even use it before. And even when you could probably manage without it, you still reach for it because it feels easier when it's there. So what used to be occasional starts to feel consistent. And that consistency, it starts to feel normal. And even though without saying anything out loud, you recognize that something has shifted in how you move. Because now the rail is not just nearby. You expect it. Then you find yourself explaining it in a way that makes sense. And you tell yourself it's just for safety. And that explanation feels right because you've seen what can happen when a step doesn't go the way it should. So instead of taking a chance, you use the rail. And it feels like a smart move in that moment. And even though you still have strength in your legs, you trust the rail more than you used to. You do it just for balance. Because aging doesn't always take something away all at once. And you know this. But it does make you think about what could happen if it does. And then one day, you come across steps without a rail. Uh-oh. And the moment feels different before you can even take your first step. Because, now your hand looks for something that that isn't there. And you notice the absence right away. So, your body slows down and your steps become more careful. And you take your time in a way, you didn't before. And even though nothing has gone wrong, it feels like something could. And that feeling, it, changes how you move. Because what used to be simple now carries a quiet question in it. Okay, so you're doing your thing. Then someone younger walks the same steps without touching anything. And the difference becomes visible in a way you can't ignore. Because what feels normal to you now looks different from the outside, even if no one says it directly. So, you may laugh it off, or you might say it's just habit. But inside, it's more than that. because your body is asking for something it didn't even need before, and you've already started listening to it. And that's where, you know, the moment becomes personal, because it's not all about the rail. It's about what it represents. Now you're thinking, so when did aging make you start holding on to the rail? Because it didn't begin as a decision, and it didn't feel like a loss when you started. What happened is this: it showed up in small movements, where reaching out felt, you know, easier than going without. But now every time your hand finds that rail, you feel both sides of it at once, because holding on to it gives you stability. And you know, hey, that feels good. But needing it reminds you that something has changed. And that feeling stays with you. And that's the dilemma, because the rail helps you move forward, but it also quietly tells you you're not moving the same. So, this has been no advice. Not trying to give you advice. Not trying to give you the resolution. You know, just thinking. Now, if this video helped you out a little bit, or you just simply enjoyed it, please subscribe and comment. And guess what? I'll see you in the next video.